The reality is that some people want to get a reaction out of you. If their strategy is to push your buttons, what's your strategy? Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Carrie, and this is a channel where we help people and organizations amplify their impact. In today's video, we are talking about a bonus tip from my book, Career Gymnastics, and that bonus tip is all about emotional regulation. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. As much as I would love to debate about what's right and what's wrong, I'm not here to do that. I am here to help you navigate the spaces that you're in until you can move on to something better. And one of the most powerful tools that you can have in your back pocket is emotional regulation, because these jobs and these careers are going to test you. There are going to be moments when you want to go off on your manager. You're going to want to say, per my last email, or air it out on social media. And you can do whatever you want. But before you do, I encourage you to resist the urge. Here's the hard truth that no one talks about. How you handle those moments when you want to go off and when you want to tell people what's on your mind is what people will remember. Whether it's fair or not doesn't matter, but your reputation will follow you. So today I'm talking to you about resisting, resetting, relaxing, and re-strategizing. These 4 steps that's going to keep you in control even when everything inside of you wants to react. The first R is I want you to remember not to let the moment make the decision for you. Your very first reaction is rarely your best one. When something happens that sets you off, the very first thing I want you to do is pause. That initial rush of frustration, anger, and disappointment, I want you to let it come, but don't let it lead. Resisting doesn't mean that you don't feel the emotion. It just means that you don't let the emotion control you. Instead of sending that per my last email or ranting to the wrong person or making a heat of the moment decision that you will have to live with, I want you to breathe. Step away from your screen. Give yourself some space. And the next time that something frustrates you at work, I want you to give yourself at least 1 hour before you respond. You will be surprised at how much clarity time can actually bring. The second R is about resetting. This is about taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture. Not every situation is as personal as it might feel. And once you hit that pause, I want you to ask yourself, what's really bothering you? Is it about the situation, or is it something that's deeper? Was that email really rude, or did I just read it in the worst tone possible? Is this moment worth my energy, or can I let it go? Resetting means separating facts from emotions. It helps you to look at each situation objectively instead of reacting based on your own frustration. Before you respond, I want you to ask yourself, if I were giving advice to somebody else in this situation, what would I tell them? And sometimes that shift in perspective can be a game changer. The third R is relax, because stress responses don't lead to good decisions, my friend. You cannot think clearly if you are tense, distracted, or caught up in emotion. Your body follows your emotions. Those tense shoulders, the clenched jaw, the racing thoughts. When you are worked up, you cannot think strategically. So before you respond, before you make any decision, I want you to calm your nervous system. This might mean going for a walk, playing some lo-fi music, that's my tip, taking some deep breaths, whatever it takes to clear your mind before you react. I want you to build a quick reset routine for those stressful moments. These might be things that you could do in less than 5 minutes to bring yourself back to the center. I know for me, sometimes if I'm in a meeting, or sometimes, if I'm in a situation that I can't go away for an extended amount of time, I might say, I need a quick bio break. And that bio break doesn't always mean I have to go to the restroom. It might mean I need to go back and I need to reset myself. Okay. And the fourth R is about re strategizing, moving with intention, not with emotion. Just because they provoked you, don't mean that you have to react. And now that you are in a clear headspace, it is time for you to decide. Does this situation require a response? And if it does, is it something that I can handle in a way that will reflect a reputation that I want to keep intact? Instead of saying, I can't believe you question my work, you might say, I love to walk through my thinking or my thought process and get your feedback. Instead of lashing out at that coworker, consider addressing it privately. And sometimes the best response is no response because some things really do not deserve your energy. Before responding next time, I want you to ask yourself, is this reaction going to help me or is it going to make me just feel better in the moment? The reality is that some people want to get a reaction out of you. If their strategy is to push your buttons, what's your strategy? Some people thrive on getting under your skin. They want to push you into reacting because when you react, they win. I want you to think about boxing. Fighters talk trash before the match because they want to get in their opponent's head. And if they do, they've already won half the battle. So I want you to ask yourself, are you letting someone else dictate your reaction? And if you're anything like me, I am kind of prideful sometimes, but don't tell anybody. And for that reason, I'm like, I'm not going to let anybody dictate the way I move, the way I show up in the world. I'm not going to validate anyone's false perception of me. If you're trying to make it seem like, oh, Carrie is X, Y, and Z, and you respond in the heat of the moment, it just validates those things. So I want you to think about if somebody is trying to get a reaction out of you and challenge yourself to not give them the satisfaction. Because at the end of the day, emotional regulation is about control, controlling what you can, protecting your peace, showing up in ways that align with who you really are. Your emotions can very well be valid, but how can you channel them in a way that sets you apart? And let me just be clear, this is not easy. It took me a very long time to master this. I wish I had done it sooner. But once you learn how to control your responses, everything in your world changes. And this is really not just applicable in the workplace. This is applicable in your romantic relationships and your friendships with family, all of the things. You've got to figure out a way to control your emotions and to decide and be selective. I love that, being selective about what gets your attention. You have to make a decision that your attention and your time is super precious. Therefore, you cannot give it away. You can't give it to everything and everybody. Think of it as exclusive. It's exclusive. Everybody can't have access to it. And there are some people that like I told you, they live to humble you. They live to try and make you look bad. They live to get a reaction out of you that is not reflective of the person that you are. Be selective about what you give them. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you feel so inspired by today's video, I encourage you to pick up my book, Career Gymnastics. The tip that we talked about today, emotional regulation, was a bonus tip that I wrote for career gymnastics. And I think that you might find some other tips and techniques in here very helpful for your career journey. And I'll see you in the next one.